Grabbing his phone for his lap, they switched it on and started text messages. Their conversation last night. Oh god, he was acting like a lovesick teenager. It was good. A last night text, and the notification that why his face was heated up. A day before yesterday, when Leon dropped him home, he found his phone inside the room, and two messages were unread. Good night. I'm sorry, I'd not been able to call. Are you not responding, Dee? Are you alright? Send me a message so I can start my day here. Don't keep me beat and worried. They had instantly grown like he did when he graduated for his school, or his father sent him to France with Young. Why was he so caring? Why couldn't he just stay mad at him for long? I'm fine. Night, he replied. After that, he didn't mind. They was just too happy to care. Nothing come to the present. The butler told him the car was ready, and they was already. Hun, can you please take a ride? Then left, and then again ride. They know very well he shouldn't stupid, but he was nervous and scared. Hun gave him a confused look in the rear view mirror. Please, just do it, I said, and then get back over the highway. But it's not safe, Mr. John. It's quite late, and taking the state over roads won't be the best choice. You're right. Can you at least stop outside for some time? He requested, and he turned over the shoulder and phoned. Is everything all right? He inquired. I think that white car is following us. I know I'm just... They waved it off. He might think that how stupid genius Jungkook's wife is. What? He muttered in panic and shoulders stiff. He was at alert for a kind of danger. He stopped the car at the side. And he was right. The white car was stopped too, just behind them. Who was he? They glared fearfully. Don't worry, I will take care of it. Lock all the doors, he said before getting out of the car. The painter's eyes closed and just prayed that it was his imagination and the man needed to stop too. They observed one, and he get out as soon as he did. The white car sped up and away. His eyes winded and saw. Something was wrong, definitely. Hun get back inside the driving seat and start the engine. We need to go, right now. He only said and sped off. They was too scared to see anything, and his mouth was dry as desert. Can you do me a favor? They murmured, and Hun nodded, urged him to continue. Please don't tell Jungkook about this. I'm sorry, but I can't do that. They stood up for the sofa and gave a smile to his mother-in-law. He walked around and excused himself for all the people who were gossips about his family, in his family, along with Sophia, much to her ignorance, and of course Jungkook family without Jungkook. When would he be back? He said it might be a week or more. But did he really mean that? They signed and walked upstairs, where his mother-in-law guided him toward the bathroom. Thank God he avoided Jungkook and his uncomfortable stare at his face every second for the dinner. He scrawled and was back away toward the hall. When he bumped into a body, he stumbled back. Oh, I'm sorry, Tim on while rubbing the shoulder after his cap. Look up, he saw, and face to face with the person he wished was not in the same place as his, but couldn't do anything about it. Jungkook, blue eyes similar to brother, watched Tae shamelessly, with worry on his face. Are you okay? He asked, and his voice suddenly annoyed him. He internally rolled his eyes and gave him a hard scar. Yes. They nodded and walked past him, but he didn't want all other men to, and they have no other choice. He tried to grab the arm, but that didn't go so well. His hand couldn't only come across and it slips through his shoulder, revealing the skin to him. They gasped and horrified, and another gap for hair around had come from his mouth. I'm so sorry. He stepped back with winded eyes and sulked nervously. The young blood were boiled as he adjusted his sleeve and stared at him with anger. They didn't know why, but tears baked in his eyes and his teeth were clenched together. They had tried so hard to avoid him and not to let those hurtful and painful feelings suffer his emotion. But it was enough now, and he was a human after all. Look at his face, brought so many memories. that they was discussed about now. Leave me alone, they greatest they, and backed away. Theon, I just need to talk. Don't say my name. He snapped. I don't want to talk. This bad. Jungkook visibly flinched at his tone and guilty covered his face. I want to apologize. Save it. They repeat his word the other day. Jungkook swallowed painfully and nodded slowly. Turning over his shoes, he went downstairs and disappeared for his view. They closed his eyes and pulled the chair back. Before signing, they exhaled slowly through his mouth and turned around to walk away. But feel a presence behind him. They was now extremely annoyed and clenched his jaw tightly. What do you want now? They snapped, turning over his shoulder. But his breath got catch in his thought and his heart was speed up. When he saw who it was, Tung licked his dry lip as Tingler shot up to his spine. I didn't expect such a pleasant welcome. Jungkook had teased a smile on his lip, a smile that barely lifted the corner of his lips. His hands were inside his trouser pockets, and his hair were back from her forehead. Oh God, they panted mentally. They was almost shocked. They didn't know how much he missed him until now. All he wanted to do was walk in his arm and kiss him. Hi, they murmured. Jungkook chuckled his thought and walked toward closer. Don't be so cruel, sweetheart. It's been 5 days. Didn't you miss me? He tilted his head to the side and asked once. He was in his personal space. His blue eyes stared down at they, and the blues and eyes pulled they, making him more to down into them. They, he found looking slightly worried, but he didn't know what they was thinking. God only know if he knew. This trembled. Jungkook's eyes filled with that amusement, and he stared down at him before leaning down his head in front of the. Do I make you nervous? He asked in a low whisper. His thought thudded and a pleasurable shiver ran down his spine. Jungkook's hand slipped out of his pocket and now rested on his hip bone. That was new and didn't mind. In fact, he liked it. Will you say something precious? His husky voice would pour over thee and melted him into a puddle. Your eyes, they murmured. Jungkook's eyes dark in a midnight blue sky, and he closed another inch between their faces. My eyes wet, his breath fanned their lips, and he gave him everything not to bite his lips. They are beautiful, exhilarating. As he spoke, the lips touched his. His eyes fluttered, and then the spell of the broken by the shell sound of his phone. Both of them were jumped. Jungkook, an annoying expression with they blushed. He spaced out of his phone and his pocket and pressed it against his ear. His hand was still, much rested around his waist. What? He snapped. They jumped at his voice when he looked at they with the apologetic smile. They nodded and started looking around. Jungkook's body was suddenly stepped behind they, and when they looked at face hurriedly, was glared at him. They went in clear and tried to get out of his grip, but he dug his finger in the wrist and pulled him closer. What was going on with him? They felt uncomfortable, and he wouldn't take his eyes off for his face. I need reports on this tomorrow morning in my office. Remember, tomorrow. He said strictly, and his voice was tense, put his phone on his pocket. They looked at his face, which was impossibly close to tea, and gulped. He looked scary. What did he do now? You're in so much trouble. He shot Thea a deadly look, and on each word, their mouth opened in shock as he stared at him in horror. What? What did I do? They murmured, and Jungkook tugged his waist and crashed his body, flesh against his.